This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk us through this 2018 Cruiser Aire model 30MD. Okay, I'm on the door side of the trailer, moving towards the rear. And as you can see, you have ground control automatic leveling system, a 4-point system. Okay. I'll show you that when we get to the other side of the trailer. You have a 3 slide outs, I believe, 1 on each side in the living area, and then a bedroom wardrobe slide on the off-door side front. You've got a power awning with LED strip. Your stairs fold right into the trailer. If you're on uneven terrain and you need to adjust the length of the legs, you can just pull these pins out. There's 1 on each side, and adjust the length that way. Alright. You have a pass-through basement. 2 30-pound LP tanks, 1 on each side. It's an automatic changeover regulator. Okay. Your battery is in the front compartment here. Okay. This hookup here is just in case you want to get a solar panel to charge the battery. It would plug in right there. That's a Furion brand hookup there. Okay. The other tank right here, of course. Alright, so your leveling system is right here. So let me sort of bend inside here. Put some light for you. Maybe, I guess the light would be good. Alright, so turn it on, like right there. It says ready, tells you your jacks are down. You can push auto level and it'll automatically level it, of course, or you can scroll through. You can drop the front jacks alone, press enter. Auto reconnect, which basically brings you back up to the previous hitch height when you disconnected. Manual mode, you can do 1 at a time, of course. And retract all, auto retract all. So the one thing you have to know about this system is it likes to have a fully charged battery when you're operating it. So if it ever faults on you, it's telling you, generally speaking, telling you that the battery isn't fully charged. So keep that in mind anyway, okay? But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. The directions, let me see where they put them on this one, are actually right up here on the door. If you can see at the inside of the basement door. I don't know if I'm giving you a good picture or not, I can't see. Okay, alright, so also this is the outside of the water heater. It's a 10-gallon water heater, and the switches to operate it are inside the trailer. I just need to show you that this is the drain plug right here. This is the pressure release valve here. Never release the pressure or pull the drain plug when you got hot water in it, of course. You let it cool down. You don't want to scald yourself or worse. So, okay. You have a gray valve here for a gray tank. We'll call it the galley tank. All right. Then come back here a little farther. Let me get this straight here. Let me take back what I just said and do it this way, because I just recall that the valves are actually up a little higher here. We can probably see them all if I get down on my hands and knees. So there you have it. So that's 2 gray and 1 black tank valve. All right. So you're going to hook your hose onto here, obviously. You'll dump the gray first, then you'll dump the black. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time here. I apologize. You'll dump the black first. That makes sense. You'll dump the black first, then you'll dump the gray tanks, because the black water is obviously toilet water and waste. The gray are sink and shower water, so they're cleaner water than the black water, so you dump that after the black. All right, those 2 hoses right there with the caps on them are those are low points for the drain system. All right, that's better. Okay. So you can see right here that the valve on the left is black, and then the other two are gray towards the right. Okay. Always remember that this is a drain for your refrigerator, so it drains the condensation to the outside, so it always should be hanging out like it is. That is the range hood vent up there. Okay. Your docking station. It's pretty straightforward. Now you can see it's got a drawing here. When this valve is in this position, it's for city water hookup, which is the most common. If you have to pre-fill your onboard fresh water tank because there's no plumbing at the campsite you're going to, so you can pre-fill it, you would hook your hose up to here again, just like you would for city water, but you put the valve in this position. Let me take this out here. Into this position, and that way it'll fill up your tank. Okay. This is a black tank flush. So if you leave your black tank valve open, you can hook a hose up onto here, turn it on, and like it says on this sticker here, always make sure the black tank valve is open, then turn it on, and you'll spray out the inside of your black tank, cleaning it out really well. Okay, and of course cable and satellite through here, and this is just a quick connect. You can get different sprayers for it. This one comes with a kind of a spout that goes on there. All right, now you've got a 50 amp cord with this, 50 amp, 30 feet long. This is pre-wired for 2 air conditioners. That's why you got a 50 amp system. In case you want to upgrade, it's very simple. All right, so you have a ladder that goes up to the roof, which is good because you need to inspect the roof every 90 days or 3 times a season, spring, middle of the summer, and the fall. You go up there and check for cracking or separation. If you see any, you have to get it touched up immediately. All right. This housing here tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. So if you want to get one, it takes a Furion camera that fits in that housing. We carry them here, but no matter where you get it, you make sure you get the one that fits in the housing. And of course your rack folds up. It's in the down position now, but it'll fold up flush with the back of the trailer. Okay? All right. Let's go on through to the inside now. Okay. These stairs are very, very sturdy, which is the best thing about them. Okay, so this is your control panel here. So you can test your levels, your battery's charged. Always check it when you're not plugged in though. Fresh water has a third in there, but we're still water testing it. Black 1, you just have 1 black tank in this one because you have 1 toilet, so you'll only pay attention to 1. Black tank 2 does not matter. And then you got gray tank and gray tank 2, which is the galley tank. Those are all empty. As they graduate up in 1/3 increments, of course, and after 2/3 lights up, you're going to have to start thinking about dumping it eventually. Lights here. Okay, so I told you can light the water heater or turn on the power for it here. So this is how you would light it on gas, and this is how you do it on electricity. Most people just use electricity. Now keep in mind, you always want to make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you turn it on. You can't run it dry. If you run it dry, then you'll damage it. It'll have to be repaired. That's not a warranty issue, of course. Also, if you need to use your water pump for winterizing or to pump water out of your fresh water tank, that's right there. Okay, you have your 3 slide rooms here. Actually, you have 4 slide rooms. Oh, yes. Yeah, so you have actually, I didn't realize at first, but you actually have 3 slide rooms on the outdoor side. You've got this other one here, this middle one, which is like a bedroom slash, what would you call it, a living area. I'm not sure what, a privacy area maybe. That would be a good name for it. But this obviously turns into a bed also. You can pull the cushions off, set them aside, and it turns into a 3-panel hide-a-bed, which is good. Plus you can hook up your TV in here. You got antenna through and power and everything. So, okay. Also, while I'm looking at this, this is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. That should always be green. If it goes off, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut off the gas, and figure out what's going on. If you want to self-test it, there's a button on it. You can always push the button and make sure that it'll run through the self-test, okay? Also, while I'm standing here, this device here is the power converter. Okay, so what this does is converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC. So basically, you've got 110 AC on this side, you got regular household type circuit breakers, and they're all labeled here, right? Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. You got 12 volt fuses here, and they're labeled, all right? So that's where the 12 volt comes from. It just converts your regular shore power, your regular household type power, which is AC power. It converts it to DC. Everything that can run on DC power in a trailer does. Some things have to be AC, like the air conditioner would have to be AC power, the microwave, things like that. But when it comes to all the lights and pumps and motors and that sort of thing, those are all 12 volt DC. Okay. Now also, if any of these fuses were to blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see them glowing through this tinted plastic here. Also, if you're plugged into shore power, this is a battery tender. It'll send so much energy your battery up front has and needs, and it'll always keep it charged up. So when you're pulling the trailer down the road, your alternator on your tow vehicle will charge the battery, and when you're plugged in at the campsite or wherever you're plugged in at, this power converter will keep the battery charged. So it keeps the batteries charged very well. Okay. This is your thermostat. Obviously, it's very simple. Hit mode once to light it up, then you just go from cool to furnace to off to fan to cooling. Always stick with auto. Fan auto. You can go high or low, but auto's the way to keep it. Also, there's about a 6-second lag time. If you were to, let's say if this was off and we turned it on, AC on, auto, it'll take about 5 or 6 seconds before it starts, so that's normal. Just be patient with it, okay? And when they talk about fan, all the fan is the air conditioner running without the compressor. It just circulates air. All right. Okay, so we talked about this room. Let's go this way. This is your entertainment area. You're already set up for a TV set. You have to get a mount, of course. You'll get a swing out mount for it. And if you can, spend a little extra money and get the type that locks into place when it's closed. That way you don't have to hang straps. It's a much cleaner install. You have your radio and disc player here. Plays discs here, CDs and DVDs, of course. You can stream off a USB drive. You can hook up with Bluetooth and stream wirelessly from your phone or tablet. You got 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it does a lot, especially considering you're camping. It has a lot of features. Also, your fireplace, which runs on 110 AC. It's also a space heater, so it has high and low and off for span speeds. You can adjust the look of the flame. You can set the thermostat, and also it has a timer on it, so it'll do all those things. And all the while running on AC power, so you don't have to use up your LP gas just to keep the chill out of this room, for example. So that's good. This is another hide-a-bed here. It's also a 3-panel foam, so these cushions come off, right? Then you would grab it. Let me set this back on here. Come on now. Then you would grab it right down here, fold it out, put the legs down, drop the back into place, and you've got a bed, of course. Your refrigerator is gas absorption, so it runs on 110 AC or LP gas. You can pull it down the road on LP gas if you choose. So you have 2 buttons, on and off here, and then your source, auto, is where you want to go. So if you put it on auto, it'll always seek out 110 AC electricity first. So as long as it finds it, it'll run it on AC. Now let's say you went out early exploring this morning, and an hour after you left, the campground had a power failure. Well, it'll recognize that, and it'll automatically switch over to gas for you. That's why they call it automatic, so you won't spoil your food. So it'll always seek out electricity first and go for gas second. You can run it on dedicated to gas when you're going on the road just by doing it this way. But even if you don't have AC power, it'll eventually turn on gas anyway. Okay. All right. So your range is very simple. So there's safety valve. So you have to go to on, which is a picture of the blue picture of the flame. Then you depress it and then spark it. Okay? You do that for each one. The oven is the same thing. Light automatically. You just go to the flame you want and press it in. Whoops. You get it sparking until it lights. Okay? And of course your timer's over there. Okay. Your microwave works like any other microwave. It has a built-in 2-speed fan here. I showed you the range hood vent on the outside. And then of course it has light here. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Alrighty, I think we've covered just about everything in this room. Let's walk towards the bathroom. Okay, so the bathroom, you know, the sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. The toilet, if you don't know RV toilets, the most important thing to know is that you need to have water and some chemical in there when you start using it. So if you get there and your black tank is empty, you get to the campground, you plug in your tray and you hook up the water. You'll come in here and you'll take your chemical, whichever brand you use, you'll put 1 dose right in the bowl. Then you'll step on the pedal here. Water comes swirling out. You stand on the pedal so you put about a gallon or so of water in the tank. There's no way to tell exactly what that is. You just have to use common sense. The bottom line is it doesn't have to be perfect, exact measurements. It just has to be around a gallon. It can be 2 gallons, but you know, just around a gallon with chemical. You can't use it dry. If you do, you'll regret it. And you'll only do it once, trust me. This GFCI, there's probably 2 of them in this trailer, so just keep in mind all the plugs are wired through a GFCI, so even if you're using the plug outside with a coffee pot, it pops. You'll reset it, add a GFCI in here. They're all wired through a GFCI. Alright, so this is your wardrobe we just walked past, of course. This is going to tell us is that this is pre-wired for a second air conditioner here. You would get the drop-in type with the controls on the ceiling panel, on the ceiling assembly, so you can just drop it right in there. It's a very simple install, and it's already pre-wired. If you're in Michigan, you don't really have to worry about that. But if you're traveling in the South, for example, all winter, some people will go for a second AC. It's just a matter of choice. Of course, you have storage underneath here, a foot locker with a sink top and a couple cranks. Okay. And you can mount a TV right there, of course. Alright, so I think we've probably covered everything. Let me look around a bit here as we walk back towards the back. I think we've covered it. Let me look around. Of course, you have to have your table leaf down before you pull the slide room in. Let's see what's happening right there. There we go, like so. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that does cover it now. So all the air conditioning comes out of the ceiling ductwork, and all the heat comes out of the bottom. Remember, the range has a safety on it, so you always have to depress the buttons before you can spark them. Or you can spark them, but they won't light unless the buttons are depressed. So, okay. So thanks for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And remember what I said about inspecting your roof. That's very important. And keep in mind you have to bypass the water heater and go through all the proper steps when you winterize it. That's very important. You don't want to get antifreeze into the water heater tank. It'll leave a really foul taste and a bad smell. So to avoid that, you bypass it. You have to learn about that if you're not familiar with it. And never run your hot water heater without water in the tank. That's very important. So, okay, thank you very much.